Happy Tuesday, everybody. So, today I completely changed my mind on what I want to talk about. This is something that I found on the Daily Wire, and I thought that it was interesting. So, this is what we're going to talk about. Let's get right into it because I promised that these shows would be shorter for the sake of time just to get something out of it, but not have to listen for an hour. So, this is a collection of stories. It's called the Hunter Biden Files. It says, in this collection, the Daily Wire tells the story of the overseas ventures of Hunter Biden and his cronies, shining a new light on details the media, big tech, and the Biden administration don't want you to see. So let's read. The first one is written by Luke Rosiak. It's called Investigation. Hunter Biden was just one spawn of the powerful who occupied a network that might be called, quote unquote, Family Incorporated. Materials on Hunter Biden's laptop lift the veil on not just his attempts to trade on the family name, but an entire universe of relatives of the rich and powerful chasing scraps, a Daily Wire review found. The famous names went especially far overseas, where denizens seem to assume that, like in the third world countries, the relatives of American royalty were royalty. They also include a motley crew of obscure American is it scions, such as the nephew of notorious mobster Whitey Bulger. Among Hunter's close associates were Joe Biden's brother, quote unquote, Uncle Jim, Chris Hines, the stepson of former Secretary of State John Kerry, and Devin Archer, Hines' college roommate who went on to become an advisor to Kerry's presidential campaign. In 2014, Hunter and Archer joined the board of Burisma, a Ukrainian gas company. In announcing Hunter's appointment, Burisma wanted to emphasize that he was the son of the vice president, but Hunter cautioned them. I think it's much more effective to let people draw their own conclusions or give it to them on background. If they want to be more subtle, they could say something like Mr. Biden served as honorary co chair of then 2008 Obama Biden inaugural commission. Hunter, Archer, and Jason Galanis, a porn magnate who had a previous run in with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, were also involved with a company called Burnham. An email from Jin Wang, a Chinese executive of partnerships between Hunter's firm and a Chinese company, said that there were three carve outs from Burnham's exclusivity in North America. One was for Joseph P. Kennedy Enterprise, which manages the money of the family of former President John F. Kennedy. In May 2016, Archer and Galanis were charged with fraud involving a Native American tribe along with Galanis' father. In the 1980s, Galanis' father was sentenced to 27 years in prison in a case involving tax fraud, in which he was prosecuted by Rudy Giuliani. Oh, it came full circle! In 2001, he disappeared while on work release. Jason Galanis' brother Derek is also in prison and says he is listed as an associate of the Gambini crime family. He wrote a book called Greed and Fear, The Galanis Crime Family, in which he details his father's crimes as the levels of manipulation and the evil machinations that fill the mind of this sociopath afflicted with megalomania. Access to foreign countries often came through the relatives of politicians there. Hunter sought Mexican riches through Miguel Alaman Maganani, the billionaire son of a former Mexican governor and the grandson of a former Mexican president. In February 2016, he lamented that no business deal had solidified despite showering him with White House access, writing, quote, I'm attending meeting with President and with Dad. We have so many great things to do together, and I want you at the plane when the VP lands with your mom and dad. We have been talking about business deals and partnerships for 7 years, and I really appreciate you letting me stay at your resort villa. But I have brought every single person you have ever asked me to bring to the effing White House and the Vice President's house and the inauguration, and then you go completely silent. Alaman Maganani was also an investor in Hunter's firm Rosemont, according to the emails. Archer was on the board of the KZ or Kazakhstan National Investment Fund and very close with Prime Minister of Kazakhstan and his son Iskander. I guess that's how you say it. God, I butcher these names. Hunter wrote to a friend seeking investments for a real estate venture in Los Angeles. Hunter also said the PM's son is a very good friend of his own. In another email, Archer told Hunter they would be having dinner at the home of Timur Kulibayev, the son-in-law of a former president of Kazakhstan, saying supposedly worth 5 to 10 times what Forbes has him at, which is $2.1 billion. On the board of a Russian oil company, Gazprom, major player, he sent a link to his Wikipedia page. See reference to money laundering, Hunter said. An accusation from what I've read, Archer replied. The Financial Times later reported on a secret scheme that appears to allow Kul- Kulibayev to receive a share of the profits from pipeline contracts granted to ETK, a company owned by Russian businessman Alexander Karmanov. I was about to read the promo. Want more exclusive Daily Wire investigations? Become a member. It's not part of the article. Anyway, in June 2014, Archer sent Hunter an email that he proposed sending in Hunter's name with the subject Mohammed Draft, aka Emmersbro. Mohammed bin um, um, bleh. Mohammed bin Ahmad bin Khalifa Al Thani is the son of Qatar's former ruler and brother of its current ruler. We want to form a long-term partnership with Qatar and will do what we can to make sure there is room for the Qatar Investment Authority, it said, signing off, very best, Hunter. Can y'all hear the jets flying? I always wonder if my recording picks up jets flying overhead. Anyway, I wanted the company's inroads in the country of Mali also came from the family of a top leader. I wanted to connect you by email to John Nevergole, who works with us on a number of projects and is partners with the son-in-law of Mali's former president. Per our conversation yesterday, John can help you figure out some connections to AFRICOM and also talk to you about how to proceed on Mali. Eric Sherwin, one of Hunter's partners in a venture called Rosemont Seneca, wrote to an associate in July 2012. I think I talked about Rosemont Seneca in a earlier episode, and it was a big fraud. It was a big scheme, and the people that were involved in it went to jail, except for Hunter. He's the only one that escaped any prosecution for what they did. You have to go watch that to, because I can't remember exactly what it was, but you'll have to go listen to the episode. The prior year, Sherwin wrote to Hunter that Archer had a meeting with Mali's president. Nebergol also informed Hunter and Archer that he had arranged a meeting with the president of Guinea through Alpha, the president's son. Signed books from Joe Biden helped play up Hunter's clout abroad. In 2011, Archer asked Hunter for 3 Biden books to leave with Zhang Qingho, a Chinese billionaire with whom we're going to do a follow-on real estate pitch, or just general, we can be your agent in the U.S. convo. Of course, Hunter replied. A colleague noted that there weren't any books in the office that I could see except for 2 unsigned hardbacks that Arlene gave us to get signed, which we need to do, said Hunter, and Hunter added, there are a whole stack of them in my bookcase by desk. Apparently referring to an Indian businessman Hunter's firm was courting for an investment, another of Hunter's colleagues, Rob Walker wrote, are you going to see your dad before Tuesday afternoon? Robbie sent me 2 books to get signed about 6 months ago, and I haven't done a thing. On the American side, a partner in their Chinese dealings was James Bulger, the nephew of Whitey Bulger, the notorious Boston mobster who was arrested in 2011 after 16 years on the lam. Hunter's secretary was Anne Marie Person, who appears to be the younger sister of Fran Person, Joe Biden's longtime body man. In 2015, after Fran left the White House, he entered the world of international deals, having what Hunter called a very real China deal he was working on to bring SeaWorld to China. Oh, SeaWorld. Can I go off on a little tangent that's completely unrelated real quick? Um, Talking about SeaWorld. We were talking about a man, me and my stepmom. She was telling me about this man that got swallowed by a whale. Well, not completely swallowed, but he got sucked into his mouth. I think he said it was about 40 seconds long. He got some tissue damage, probably from the brill or whatever that's called, that where their teeth would normally go. Anyway, he's totally fine. He's in the hospital. Um, but we got on the subject of animal cruelty. Well, because we were talking about how whales aren't necessarily aggressive, but that killer whales can be. And I said that I think that in the open ocean, there was a woman who was killed by one, and that I think that it was playing with her and it didn't realize that it was playing too roughly because it's a whale, and that's what killed her. But the ones that are held in captivity, like in SeaWorld, They are aggressive and they will kill you. And like their teeth will break off and mess up because they grind their teeth. They've been known to like smash their head against the window because they're angry, they're upset, they want out. That's why when you see their fin folded over, it's because they're depressed. And when they're out in the ocean, they're up. And I was thinking to myself, I said, that's really sad. That's why I don't want to go to SeaWorld anymore. The more I learn about what they do with the whales, it's really sad. And not just the whales, but all the animals, even zoo animals, if you think about it. But like zoo animals, like lions, you can't release back out into the wild after they've been born into captivity. They'd never survive. So they're kind of stuck. But whales, you can release back. And I said, it really makes me mad. Vegans sit and complain about people that eat meat and how the way that they farm the cows, it's so mean, and the way they kill them, it's painful. And while I'm not saying that it's not, I don't know much about all of that. I don't care to know much about it, because we kill cows for food. It's not just for fun. We're not holding them hostage just for fun. Anyway, my thought was, I thought about it. And you hear them always talk about killing animals for food. But why are they never protesting the captivity of the animals at SeaWorld? Most especially the whales, who seem to suffer the most from being in captivity there because they're so big and they have no space to move around. You never hear them say anything about that. So I don't believe they truly care about animals. I think they just want to complain about something and feel good about defending a helpless animal. And I can tell you that vegans are annoying because all they do is put people down who eat meat and tell you what a horrible person you are. Well, let me just say to the vegans out there who may be listening, if you're only fighting for animals that we use for food to feed the population, which is a lot of people, then I expect you to fight for every animal. And that includes the whales at SeaWorld, and you need to fight to get them released and have SeaWorld shut down. And if you can't do that, then you don't really care about animals. You just care about throwing it in people's faces that they eat meat and you don't. So enjoy that little message while I continue to eat my steaks. I don't care. It's food. Not saying you should be cruel to the animals that you're using for food. You should not. But I don't have a problem with killing animals for food. Okay, like cows, pigs, things like that. I do have a problem with killing dogs and cats unless you're in Venezuela and that's all you have to eat. Tangent, I know, but it's mentioned SeaWorld and it made me think of that and I just had to say something. Anyway, continuing on. Fran Rhodey just finished a meeting with former ambassador to China Gary Locke, who is on the board of Harv's Investment Group, the U.S. arm of a Chinese real estate company tied to the China Development Bank. I feel like I need to read faster. The network of relatives of the powerful extended to the corporate world, too. Leah Carpenter, a descendant of the DuPont dynasty that amounts to royalty in Delaware, contacted Hunter to get an email address for Hines, the stepson of John Kerry. Hunter, in turn, said he'd like to reconnect with Luis Fria's son, referring to the son of the former FBI director. Carpenter provided his email. When Archer asked if Hunter knew a political consultant pitching an international deal who he described as an interesting character to say the least, Hunter said he knew him through the Waste Management co-founder's son. Hunter also wrote that son of Jimmy Kimsey, an AOL co-founder, tried to set up a meeting with him for us. Perhaps the most on-point email in Hunter's inbox came not from a business associate, but in an advertisement for a line of preppy clothing. "Bring your dad to work day," the subject line said, adding in the body, "We immediately regretted that decision." Okay, part 2 of 3. Hunter Biden had tentacles in dark corners of the world far beyond China and Ukraine. Hunter Biden and his business partners were involved in discussions about possible deals in dozens of foreign countries, often corrupt backwaters, at times invoking official channels like ambassadors, emails reviewed by the Daily Wired show. While most attention is this also written by Luke? Yes, by Luke Rosiak. While most attention has focused on Ukraine, where a gas company paid the now president's son tens of thousands of dollars as a month While he was in deep crack addiction in China, Hunter and his partners at a consultancy called Rosemont Seneca were eager to do business in a vast array of other places. The map below highlights the countries where deals were discussed or executed, according to a Daily Wire review of emails obtained from the laptop Hunter Biden reportedly left at a repair shop in Delaware and never paid for or picked up. And the reason why they say that is because after it's been in their possession for so long, it now becomes the property of the person they dropped it off to fix it. Here is a sample of some of those dealings. Mexico. In 2015, Joe Biden's brother Jim wrote to Hunter about the prospect of a payout for serving as a middleman in an oil deal with Carlos Slim, Mexico's richest man. It said, have a very real deal with Pemex, Carlos Slim. Need financing literally for a few days to a week. Have the seller, refinery Slims, and buyer major being delivered from pipeline in USA. Nothing is simple, but this comes very close. As always, the devil is in the detail. Any interest on the long skirts part? Hang in there, Hunt. You can and hold it and will hold it together. I'm very proud of you and have the greatest respect. You are a great, sweet, and incredibly strong man. I know you, pal. In February 2016, Hunter wrote to Miguel Alaman Maganani, a Mexican billionaire and son of a former Mexican governor, that he had set up a meeting for Carlos and Alaman Maganani's father. I haven't heard from you since I got you a meeting for Carlos and your dad. We have been talking about business deals and partnerships for 7 years, and I really appreciate you letting me stay at your. Okay, we read this one last time. He brought so many people to the White House and then the vice president's house and the inauguration, and now they're completely silent. So, a photo shows Joe Biden meeting in the White House with Alaman Magnani, his father, and Hunter in 2014. Slim also owned TracFone Wireless in 2015, the largest corporate beneficiary of the fraud-ridden federal benefits program popularly known as Obama phones. The U.S. government paid Slim's company $9 per phone line for a service that it sold to the public for $7. I remember that. Greece and Romania. In 2014, Hunter permitted an American ex-con and Romanians to use the Biden name to add weight to a bid to buy a Greek railroad. David C. Wittig wrote Hunter in December 2014, I met with Yorgos Nikatiadis, the ex-minister of tourism. Yorgos' view is that a call from the ambassador in Athens will go a long way in getting us this deal. Give this some thought. The prospective buyer was a partnership that included Romanians. Later that month, Wittig added, Hunter, the Romanians are rightfully asking that you do not object to having your name appear in the letter I sent to you yesterday that informally discussed the consortium. Hunter replied, I have no objection, and I am in fact comfortable with you using my name in connection with this project. Obviously, we have many details to iron out before we finalize any proposal, but I am very interested in participating in the project. Question. We know that some emails or some text messages of Hunter's were released when he used the N word with his lawyer, I think it was. Reading these emails, do you think he actually wrote these words, or do you think someone was writing these emails for him because he was so cracked out? Because reading his text messages, they do not sound like the same writing, in my opinion. But okay. In February 2015, Wittig wrote Hunter, I met with the bankers of the government on Monday of this week. Everything is moving forward, although we still have not ironed out the structure, hence the trip to Romania. We should have a good idea how things look on Monday. You might start thinking about a trip in March. Wittig was a Wall Street banker who posed for the cover of Fortune magazine holding a cigar in 1986. Oh, that's the year I was born. Great year. And became head of a Kansas utility firm in 1995. In Kansas, he bought a $230,000 Ferrari and allegedly used a corporate airplane for family vacations, spent $6 million renovating the mansion where he lived, believing the company would cover the cost, and spent $6.5 million upgrading his executive suite while the company laid off hundreds of workers. What a monster! In 2005, Wittig was convicted on 39 counts of conspiracy, wire fraud, money laundering, and circumventing internal controls. In 2007, the convictions were overturned, and hours after a new Barack Obama appointed U.S. attorney was sworn in 2010, the prosecutor's office announced it would not seek to retry him, citing a recent Supreme Court ruling affecting white-collar crime statutes. Whitting ultimately received a $36 million settlement from the utility company and moved to Greece, where he held a stake in a company called Euro Consultants. Do you see how all these people just conveniently get away with stuff when new people take over or new laws are decided or the Supreme Court comes up with these new rulings? It's ridiculous. You can't trust anybody. We, the people, cannot trust the government. None of them. I feel like they're all going to go corrupt at some point. Can't trust them all. Anyway, let me take that back. I feel like we can trust Ted Cruz. I have to say that. He's my senator, and I really love Ted Cruz. So I do trust Ted Cruz. I do trust Matt Gaetz. I do trust Josh Hawley. That other lady, I can't remember her name. I trust these people. These are the people that I trust, and it's not very many. Senator Grassley, I trust him a bit, but most of them I don't. Anyway, I just wanted to make that clear. He also served time for a separate fraud case for which he was convicted in 2004. In 2015, Hunter was working on a matter related to Romania for a client. Two approaches that I think would be most effective are one, visiting with the Romanian ambassador to the U.S., and two, reaching out to our State Department on an information only basis, he wrote. Zimbabwe. In 2018, a man named Bill McManus wrote to Hunter regarding potential gold mine opportunities in Zimbabwe. The long and short of it is a longtime friend's uncle has been mining for gold in Zimbabwe and believes with investments he could assemble claims of up to 2 million ounces of gold. Additionally, though the government required state ownership of the diamond mines, we have a friend who has the right to desilt 160 miles of the Odsi River. This is interesting because the primary purpose is to desilt the river. Thus, apparently, this is not technically a diamond mine that requires any type of government ownership. The gentleman has indicated he would like to sell or create a JV as he is struggling with access to capital. Hunter asked to talk on the phone and forward information about it to Joe Biden's brother, Jim. So that's illegal, right? That's kind of like blood diamonds, right? Right? Has anybody seen that movie Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio? Is that not kind of the same situation? I don't know. I had to look deeper into that one. That's weird. Taiwan and Colombia. Hunter's associates were seemingly so eager to do business with any foreign interest that they came across that they sometimes stopped on geopolitical landmines. One email appeared to mention Taiwan, the subject of a long-running dispute with China, to an associate while he was in China. Jim Bulger, a business partner of Hunter's, appeared to assume the Chinese Communist Party might intercept the traffic. Yeah. We cannot mention Taiwan in emails to Michael. He is in Beijing, for God's sake. Please get him not to discuss our business with any Taiwanese person at all, Bulger wrote. Discussing Colombia, an associate wrote in November 2011, just to let you know, a friend of mine, Gustavo Petro, won the elections in Bogota, and this could be very important for our business there. That's funny because remember, you can't say that Taiwan is a country or, China's going to hate you. So I'm going to say something very controversial. Taiwan is its own country, and I recognize it as so, and I do not apologize for it. That was for John Cena. We cannot. Okay, I'm sorry. Hunter replied, also, Petro is the guy that kidnapped the aunt of the woman we met with 2 nights ago. What the heck? They're meeting with someone who kidnapped somebody's aunt? Oh, sex trafficking, you think? Probably. Qatar. In April 2014, Hunter's assistant emailed that the Qatari ambassador called to speak with you. The next month, his partner Eric Sherwin emailed Hunter to muse about the Qatar Investment Authority, QIA. He wasn't sure what service they could provide it, but he thought there must be a way to make money. He proposed teaming up with the Arab country where 95% of the population lives in indentured servitude with U.S. labor unions. Of course. What about a QIA, Mitsubishi, I hate that word, Western Conference of Teamsters U.S. Infrastructure Fund? In general, if QIA is looking for opportunities in this sector, we could find it for them, he wrote. Workers toiling to build Qatar's World Cup Stadium reportedly work 18-hour days for $6 a day in temperatures of up to 118 degrees, and foreign workers' passports were allegedly confiscated so they could not leave. Qatar's labor abuses brought condemnation from the International Trade Union Confederation, which predicted 4,000 workers could die by the time the 2022 World Cup begins. Well, then quit building it. Somebody stop that. Oh, I'm getting angry the more I read. Saudi Arabia. In February 2011, Chuck Harpel, the one time Teamsters lobbyist, wrote to discuss possible billions in Saudi Arabia and apparently tried to involve Joe Biden. Hunter and Eric, don't know if you've been following the Saudis, but they met with the French and stated that they are going to invest $400 billion in nuclear and clean energy. Granted, it's going to be done in their country, but there will be a lot of opportunity for American companies. Should talk about this. Also, Dr. Umani, chairman of the King Abdullah City for Nuclear and Renewable Energy, will be in DC March 5th through the 10th. Shaw is we are hosting a dinner on Sunday, March 6th, maybe a drop by my favorite elected official in the world. I don't. That was an unintelligible writing. United Arab Emirates. In 2011, Hunter wrote, "Did you know that the GDP of UAE is only slightly larger than the state of Alabama? Makes you wonder why we'd spend so much time chasing that." Sherman replied, "If Alabama were sitting on top of 10% of the world's oil reserves, maybe we'd care more about them." I want to high five this person in the face. Honestly. Ivory Coast. In May 2016, John Nebergall, the CEO of the ABD Group, a Philadelphia based firm that invests in Africa and in which Sherwin holds a role, wrote to Hunter that the Prime Minister of the Ivory Coast sent us as a follow up from the meeting the other week and discussing a project with the foreign government. He translated the letter. The Prime Minister and the Ivorian delegation were happy to meet us in DC and exchange on investment opportunities in Cote d'Ivoire. I hope I said that right. In conclusion of our exchange, they have noted that our group is engaged in two projects in Cote d'Ivoire. He thanks us again for our interest in that place and hopes to develop a good partnership between our company and the government. In September 2011, Nevergoal wrote, "Hunter, hope the trip to Kenya went well. Just as a heads up, one potential short-term opportunity that will be brought up in the meeting today is for a $700 million project that OAS just submitted for in Panama. As of 2017, Rosemont Seneca held equity in Nevergoal projects, according to the emails." Oman. In 2011, Hunter requested a meeting with the ambassador from Oman to the U.S., Her Excellency Hunan Hunaina Sultan Al Mugheri, to get your advice on some projects that our firm is involved in, and in particular, our affiliated investment from Rosemont Realty. In 2017, Jim Biden, Hunter, and others were included in an email chain started by James Gilliar about a long term venture with the Sultanate that benefits all. Gilliar is the business partner who infamously wrote that there was a provisional agreement that the equity will be distributed as follows: 20% for Hunter, 10% for Jim Biden, and 10% held by H for the big guy, which another recipient on the email, Tony Bobulinski, said referred to Joe Biden. Y'all remember that, right? West Indies. Foreign businessmen were at times transparent that they viewed Hunter's firm as a direct route to the U.S. vice president. On a potential deal with Nagy Gawai of the Mercantile Investment Group Holding Limited of the West Indies, Hunter asked, "What do we need to do moving forward?" The response from Sean Conlon indicated a potential $10 billion deal, but also implied that Devin Archer, Hunter's since convicted business partner, knew so little about the actual finances that he asked a professor how it worked. "So we have engagement letter. If they get other 10 bonds, they have a face value of 10 billion. While it is far-fetched, Devin said he talked to his professor and these get traded. We get 10% in fees. We need to get these guys to an event or something where they get to just formally meet your dad. For follow-on, they can talk to chief of staff. Let me know how soon we can do that. Uh, V brief. If Nagy gets that done, we get more bonds to move. Regards your hard work partner in Positano, Sean." The director requests to meet with Joe Biden for the business deal anger Hunter. "W2F is he talking about? Meeting with JRB Chief of Staff," he wrote. "Tell him I'll do the meeting." Access. Hunter's crew appeared to enjoy easy access to Obama's administration officials with jobs relevant to their globe-trotting money-making. "Did you see POTUS named Norman Eisen to be ambassador to the Czech Republic? We should all take a trip to visit him. Really nice ambassador's residence," Rosemont Seneca partner Eric Sherburne wrote in 2010. "Very nice, and yes," Hunter replied. They also had access to foreign ambassadors to the U.S. Archer wrote to a Chinese business partner that the meeting with Hunter and myself with Chinese ambassador has been requested and is in motion and agreed to. "Mr. Ambassador, I hope you had a nice time on the boat. I just wanted to confirm our meeting tomorrow to include an energy executive," Hunter wrote to the ambassador from the United Arab Emirates in 2012. In 2011, in a 2011 email, a correspondent wrote to Hunter to discuss the pair bringing a gift for Ambassador Al Sabah for tomorrow, referring to the ambassador of Kuwait to the U.S. Regarding our meeting tomorrow, what time do you want to meet beforehand and where to discuss strategy? I've met him before and gone to him for access to the Kuwait Investment Authority before he put me in touch with KIA and I met them in NYC. But what I didn't get from him, which he kindly offered, was access to private investors inside Kuwait as well as government sources. We will want that as well. In March 2010, an associate wrote that I was speaking to the ambassador from Serbia, and Vladimir said he met with you last week, and there may be some interest in following up on your discussion. He did not want you to think he forgot about it. Serbia's ambassador to the U.S. at the time was Vladimir Petrovic. The firm appeared conscious of how Hunter's work could appear unsavory for the son of an elected official. After Barack Obama selected Bill Daley as his chief of staff, despite a supposed ban on lobbyists in the administration, Hunter's partner Eric Sherwin wrote in 2012. Daley was never a registered lobbyist, although he directed SBC and JP Morgan's lobbying efforts. Also, the article noted that he was registered as foreign lobbyist under FARA at one point in 1979 when he was at Mayor Brown. Again, you are different at this point in time, but sometimes I wonder why we stress about this so much. Okay, I know this is going much longer than what I intended, but come on, this is really interesting stuff. Last article, there was only 3 parts. Let's just read it. Also written by Luke Rosiak. Okay. This one says Hunter Biden discussed plans for a business that would include Joe Biden emails show. So Rudy Giuliani must have given them access to look at these emails since when the FBI raided Giuliani's house, they took everything except the Biden hard drives. So, all right. Last one. Midway through Joe Biden's second term as vice president, his son Hunter Biden and an associate involved in Hunter's international money-making ventures discussed plans for creating a firm that apparently would include them, Hunter's now deceased brother Beau, and eventually Joe Biden himself, emails reviewed by the Daily Wire show. In order to develop this as a platform for both JRBs, I think it is imperative we, the 3 of us, have full control come 2016 when JRB1 comes on board, Hunter wrote to Jeff Cooper in November 2014. See, talking about oh, Joe Robinette Biden the first, right? Come on. Okay. Yeah, Joe Robinette Biden. What a name. JRB is the now president's initials, while Beau's real name is the same as his father's. Right. I think we can pull this off, Cooper wrote. In a list of desired compensation, Hunter specified that Beau would require 500 plus to work as a law partner, noting that he had medical bills. Beau died in 2015 of brain cancer, and that's really sad. It really is. But I mean, at least it doesn't have to be a part of all what's going on right now. Cooper is the founder of an investment firm called Eudora Global and CEO of an international online gaming enterprise called Ocho Global. He was also founder of Simmons Cooper Andrew, a law firm that specializes in complex high-value litigation, a professional biography says. Before Beau became Attorney General of Delaware, Beau's law firm worked with Cooper's on asbestos lawsuits. As Senate Judiciary Committee member, Biden blocked reform of asbestos lawsuits, the Madison Record reported. So he worked with Cooper on those lawsuits, and the Senate Judiciary Committee member, Biden, blocked reform of those lawsuits. So did that hurt or help his son? I don't know. In 2010, I'm sure it helped. In 2010, Cooper entered into an agreement with Hunter's firm, Rosemont Seneca Partners. Eudora agrees to partner with Seneca on various projects dealing with both domestic and international transactions. On such projects, Seneca will receive 25% of Eudora's share of equity in said projects. Seneca agrees to utilize its wide array of knowledge and relationships to aid the projects to the best of its ability, the agreement said. Just for someone who maybe knows about writing, can someone please leave a comment and tell me what the sick means in the brackets? I know I was told once before, but I can't remember what it means. So if you know, leave a comment and let me know. In 2011, President Barack Obama invited Cooper to the White House to dine with the Korean president. Cooper was involved with Hunter and his much scrutinized dealings in the Ukraine, where Hunter was reportedly paid some $50,000 a month to sit on the board of gas company Burisma and other dark corners of the world. In a March 2015 email with the subject line Burisma, Cooper asked Hunter any idea what their max plans are going to be. Emails show Cooper and Hunter's business partner Devin Archer attempting to broker a deal between Burisma and Pemex, a state-owned Mexican petroleum company. Archer was later convicted of fraud related to a different deal. Hunter wrote to Cooper in 2013, "I told Devin he should come next week to MC. I want to is that Mexico City? I want to loop him into what we are working on, and I would like you both to get to know each other better. I trust him 100% and would want him involved regardless. Is that okay?" "Sure, man, whatever you want," Cooper said. "I'm with Love, Peace, and Harmony in a jet," Hunter replied. What a moron. Cooper served as an intermediary for Miguel Alaman Magnani, a Mexican billionaire whose father was once a Mexican governor. He wrote of Alaman in 2014. "He wants us to try to bring Burisma exec with us on our trip, which he is still trying to figure out exact timing. He says that Pemex CEO was extremely excited about their potential involvement and has a perfect project for them. What are your thoughts on that?" Cooper was simultaneously intertwined with Joe Biden's world. Also in 2014, Hunter wrote to a White House staffer, "Hey, buddy, do you have pictures from the lunch I had in Dad's office? I think on February 26th with Miguel Alaman, Sr. and Jr. and Jeff Cooper." In 2013, an associate connected Cooper and Hunter with a potential Latin American contact, writing, "I want to introduce Hunter Biden and Jeff Cooper to you, who are investing in several technology sectors and more recently in the gaming gambling one. They are interested in exploring the Chilean market." In 2014, Cooper and Hunter discussed holding parties with international billionaires to create what Cooper called a global corporation group that will assist each other in our respective regions in whatever manner possible. "We need a Canadian billionaire and a certified American billionaire to add to the list. Also, I think the Philippines, Israel, Turkey, and UAE, maybe Yusuf Al Tiaba. We could drop Colombia and or Argentina. Finally, an African, preferably from Ghana or Tanzania," Hunter wrote. In February 2016, Joe Biden invited Hunter and Cooper to accompany him on a trip to Mexico, according to emails. Hunter and Cooper did not return requests for comment from the Daily Wire. In April 2016, wealth creation. In April 2016, Hunter also exchanged emails with talent agent Craig Goering about other possible plans for Joe Biden post-vice presidency, which included a possible office for Hunter and wealth creation. Gearing's recap of the meeting said, "1. School of Public Policy at University of Delaware will be renamed with the BP, the Biden School of Public Policy, like G4 did, concentration on domestic political science. Of course, the university gains an infusion of prestige, money, notoriety, and professors. University to raise all of the capital for the new center building on the quad. Within the building will be a vice presidential center or a library, first of its kind about studying of the office of the vice president, not just Biden." Oh, thank God. Number 2, the Biden Foundation in Wilmington, Delaware. Number 3, the Biden Institute of Foreign Relations at the University of Pennsylvania. The focus on foreign policy. In addition to the Institute at U of Penn, the school has an existing office in D.C. that will be expanded to house a D.C. office for VP Biden and Mike, Hunter, and Steve, question mark, operates like the Clinton Global Initiative without the money raised. Number 4, wealth creation. God, such corrupt people. Hunter replied, "Yes, in theory, that's the way I would like to see it shake out, but please keep this very confidential between us because nothing has been set in stone, and there's still a lot of sensitivity around all of this, both internally and externally. He hasn't made any decisions, and this could all be changed overnight." In 2017, Joe Biden signed with Gearing's agency, CAA. In 2018, the University of Delaware School of Public Policy was renamed after Biden. That's new. I didn't know about that. Future earnings potential. In 2010, when it was uncertain whether Barack Obama and Joe Biden would win a second term in the White House, Hunter's business partner Eric Sherwin separately handled a JRB future memo. According to an email from Hunter's laptop, Sherwin wrote, "Mike is a pretty good draft of this done. Does it make any sense to you if your dad has some time in the next couple of weeks while you are in DC to talk about it? Your dad just called me about his mortgage and mentioned he'd been out a lot soon and not really back until Labor Day, so it dawned on me it might be a good time. Also, he could use some positive news about his future earnings potential." Hunter's consultancy, Rosemont Seneca, earned money by playing a middleman role in various international ventures by virtue of having connections to the rich and powerful. In 2017, James Gillier, a business partner, infamously wrote to Hunter and other partners, Rob Walker and Tony Bobulinski, "At the moment, there is a provisional agreement that the equity will be distributed as follows: 20% for Hunter, 10% for Jim Biden, and 10% held by age for the big guy." Bobulinski publicly said Big Guy referred to Joe Biden and that Hunter Biden called his dad the Big Guy or my chairman, and frequently referenced asking him for his sign off or advice on various potential deals that we were discussing. "I've seen Vice President Biden saying he never talked to Hunter about his business. I've seen firsthand that that's not true." I remember that. White House involvement. Hunter and his Rosemont Seneca partners appeared at times to be involved with Joe Biden's vice presidential activities, according to the emails. In 2010, Chuck Harpel, who that year was a lobbyist for the Teamsters Union, wrote to Hunter that the union was not happy with the vice president. I don't even want to get into what I have heard that they were told why the VP couldn't meet, he wrote. Hunter replied, I'll work on it, but is there any issue I should know about before I go around everyone and straight to him? If I ask, he will do it, but if I am missing something legit, then I will get killed by staff. Harper wrote, they should be crapping their pants thinking that, because of miscommunication, the building trades think they are being dissed by the vice president. He recommended that Hunter call Building Trades Union Secretary Treasurer Sean McGarvey and say, you want to get all the facts before you talk to the big guy. 5 days later, Hunter wrote that General President Mark Ayers and JRB spoke live today and plan to meet New Year. Harple responded, talk to Sean. He and Mark Ayers totally credit you for saving the day. In 2012, Michael Carlutzos wrote to Sherwin and indicated that Hunter was working channels and bobbing grease alongside his father. Secretary General Kaskaris now understands that we have been working on this effort through Hunter and the VP for quite some time and has relayed that message to Ambassador Panago Panaga oh gosh Panago Panagopoulos. Oh God, I hate these names. I can't pronounce. Not like hate them like that. They're just I can't pronounce. Panagopoulos. That's the best I can do. Sorry. That said, and per our conversation, an official request will be submitted through the proper protocols. He wrote, Sherwin indicated that he was in contact with Joe Biden's office on Carlutzos' behalf. Michael, I have a call in to find out more, but haven't heard back. But give me another day to see what I can find out. After the fiscal cliff negotiations, a lot of the VP staff took some time off, he wrote. Authenticity. The Daily Wire confirmed the authenticity of 17,000 emails on the laptop Hunter Biden left at a Delaware repair shop. After the New York Post broke the story of the laptop shortly before the 2020 election, media, Democrats, and former intelligence operatives went into overdrive, suggesting that the contents could be an elaborate ruse. Days before the election, Al Jazeera reported, has anyone else verified the emails as definitively true or false? No, but dozens of retired U.S. intelligence officials signed a letter stating that while they do not know if the emails purportedly belonging to Hunter Biden are genuine or not, they have all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. Promoting his book last month, Hunter told CBS he has no idea whether or not the laptop was his. Also last month, CNN said a law enforcement source told the network that the FBI still did not know if it was really Hunter's laptop. A law enforcement source has told CNN that the assumption is that it is Hunter Biden's laptop, but the FBI is still working through the content and the integrity of what is on it, CNN reported. Yet, metadata known as DKIM enables researchers with far fewer resources than the FBI to quickly confirm that emails on the laptop are real. DKIM is an anti-spam measure that sends a hash of the email's contents back to the purported sending server to confirm whether it really came from it and to confirm that the email was unaltered. Of tens of thousands of emails reviewed by the Daily Wire, the largest group of emails were authenticated by DKIM. Others could not be confirmed for various reasons, typically because the sending server did not use the technology. Most of the emails that could not be confirmed through DKIM were anodin, and no, I don't know what that means, such as newsletters from Politico and the Washington Post. Rudy Giuliani, the one-time lawyer for Donald Trump who received a copy of Hunter's laptop hard drive from the repair store owner, said last month that when the FBI raided his apartment on a search warrant, agents took other hard drives but refused to take the device told them contained Hunter's files. So there you go. The Hunter Biden files. Such corrupt people. I think they've got like blood diamond stuff going on. They're talking to people who are kidnapping people, probably for sex trafficking purposes. Um, Joe Biden was getting involved in all of this while he was still vice president. I just and apparently those phones that Obama put in to play, what were they spying on people? Uh-uh. These people are nuts. I do not understand why these people are not behind bars. They should be in prison, every single one of them. And I'm sick and tired of these kinds of people doing corrupt things, getting away with it. And we have people that are being arrested because they walked through the Capitol building on January 6th. I mean, let's be honest. Where should a commission be be enacted for? Hunter Biden. That's where. And everything else that leads to where Joe Biden would be put behind bars and Hillary Clinton right along with him and probably Nancy Pelosi. That's what we should be looking into and get this country back on track. But nobody's willing to do it. No one's got enough guts to just start standing up. I don't understand. I see so many videos of so many people ticked off about things, but we're not coming together as one group cohesively. And if we can't do that, we're not going to make any change. I'm going to recommend you a video to go watch. It's John Doyle. It's his first video that he's put up since he moved to Texas from Michigan. The great choice of moving. He's very conservative. Go watch his newest video because he will tell you the 5 things that need to be done to take back our country. And like he said in the video, some things you're going to be like, wait a minute, you can't do that. But I'm telling you, what he says, it would work if we would all come together and just do it. The real conservatives, right? Not the squishies, not the Mitt Romneys, the real ones. That's what we need to do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a lot of interesting information that I was waiting for someone to release something really damaging about the Hunter Biden hard drives. And I think this was pretty well written. A lot of information there. You can go back and listen to it several times so you can get more information. You can watch it on YouTube so you can actually see the article yourself. Or you can sign up for a Daily Wire membership and go read it yourself that way. And lots of other content. It's great. Anyway, join me on my Facebook, Lauren Collins. I just got to say something. Shoot me an email, gotta say something 21@gmail.com. Leave me likes and subscribe. And also, comment. If you know what the sick means, please comment that because I forgot and I just don't want to go look it up. I've been looking up stuff all day. I'm tired. Um, so leave me a comment, like and subscribe, share the video if you don't mind. You can also find me on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, Pandora finally accepted my podcast, so that's great. And I would appreciate that. Also, please go subscribe to the Scott Ford Show. Go check out the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching with Isaac Hayes. The Lennar Score with Christy and TV's Rob is unwoke. It's awesome. I'm telling you, they're great. Have a good rest of the day and God bless.